to create a pool, and what is the purpose behind it? What do you want to achieve with this pool?
Okay, so I think as a programmer, as a software developer, I would naturally want to create more easier infrastructure for other developers to be able to join the ecosystem. And I think the next set of applications would run on the blockchain. So the pool has the purpose of creating hubs across the country, starting from the southwest part, which is where I am from. So the purpose of the pool today is to create hubs where developers can create different decentralized applications, where we can train them as well, and where we can onboard and create seminars and conferences, meetup and hackathons. So we've been able to spin up one in Oyo State. We are looking at securing another acquisition in Lagos State. So we will be creating pools, at least minimum of 3 states. We have one already, 2 to go. So we want more delegation to be able to use the rewards to be able to create this kind of infrastructures. So I would say our purpose today is to create an environment for developers through the rewards that we get from being an operator. And we've been doing that. I did a video recently that showed the current state of the infrastructures that we have.
Yeah, actually, I think it's one of the thing IOHK Africa is promoting and wants to push is the creation of those hubs, because it's something which is different from the Western world, in the fact that in Europe, for instance, or in the US, it's easy to have a good connection to internet, good electricity and stuff, but it's not the case in most of the places in Africa still. So like
That's true.
creating those hubs would be able to make people able to actually learn, to have a space to meet and to exchange their ideas and stuff. And in terms of organization, do you know already how you would like to work? Are you gonna provide the space and some content for the people to learn? Are you gonna hire them? How do you have an idea of how it's gonna work?
So today, the space is going to be provided where we also welcome different types of developers to come and do their workstation from. So what we will do is we want to partner with, so the first thing is we're going to employ operators, people that will be operating the centers. These are going to be Cardano facing operators in the sense that they will be the one responsible to interact and do the seminars and trainings where necessary, strictly based on Cardano, since this is what we are initializing with. So the design is to get an operator on board where we can then teach. So we'll do alliance with guys like the Lovelace Academy, the ABCD guys, where we can have a common course on Haskell development, Plutos, and different types of technologies where we can train. So I had a different idea of creating a course framework where we can actually take that to private schools and go sell this to a particular grade and say that every year we would want students of this particular grade to come to our hub to learn about this for 3 months. So the whole design is not fleshed out yet because we're not fully operational. But those are the designs, or these are the ideas that we have in mind. So the idea is to be able to create a course framework that we can take to schools and say this particular grade we think can grasp this. We will offer to teach them for free for 3 months. What this means is they will have to choose a day, maybe 2 days or so, to come to our hub to learn this. So, but it's not fleshed out yet because we're not operational. But these are some of the things that we have in the pipeline.
Okay, yeah, actually, I think it's also the kind of projects that's gonna build little by little. You know, you're gonna host first like cohort of developer, and you're gonna adjust the thing little by little. And I really like what you say about the fact that you are already in touch with uh, other Cardano member or Cardano community member who would like to do things similar. You talk about Lovelace Academy. You talk of ABCD, which is as well in Nigeria, but in another province, another state. So I think it's good actually to gather resources instead of like everybody doing his little thing in his corner, you know, by himself. Like gathering resources to develop those curriculum. I think it's a very good idea. So I think that you are already in touch with Josh from ABCD. Do you know a bit like if you already
Yes.
have ideas of things you would like to develop together?
So we had a call recently where we discussed it, and we're supposed to maybe do another call and come back with ideas of how we think we can collaborate to make um, our efforts be unified.
Yeah, but I think it's a really great to hear that actually things are being done. You know, like people are trying to work together. As I said, I think from in every episode of the interview, for me, like it's really something important to have people working together. Um, so I think it's now clear what you would like to do is like you created, so you enter Cardano, you created a pool because it was kind of, if not easy, accessible. You learn since the ITN, and now with the rewards you're going to generate, you're going to use a part of it to actually sustain a hub first, and then others, in order to be able to train people. So I think it's really cool. Now my other question would be to discuss a bit, do you have the apps projects in mind? Because I think that at the end of the day, what you would like to do is like train people, but also allow them to create stuff, right? To create things on the blockchain and things that will be useful for people in Africa, like to meet local demands, right?
Yes, so I do have different ideas. I think all of this can only be realized when we actually have the resources that will work on these ideas. So because we will need developers. So the first stage is to be able to give developers an environment where they can work. Then we can train them. Then we can now start talking about the different ideas. In terms of dApps, I have a proposal submitted about the identity framework. My thoughts exactly is one can actually do so today. If you want to do any form of financial registration, even non-financial related, you will need to provide an identity to the system that you're interacting with. So if I want to open a bank account, I'll need to put in my details where they will need to do verification and all of that. So the question is, I'm thinking of an idea where you can do a KYC bank. What that means is we can register you and have your details in terms of your identity on the framework, on the blockchain, for example, which we will then create APIs where the banks or the insurance company or the money market guys can then interact with. So all I need to do is to create an OAuth integration with them, where if I want to sign up and create a new bank account, all you need to do is to authorize it from your phone and say, share my identity details with this organization. So we're trying to. So I believe with simple dApps like this, you could onboard a lot of people into the blockchain without them really knowing that they're actually interacting with blockchain.
Yeah, I think it's interesting what you just say about the fact that now it's super technical blockchain, but we have to consider that if we want to reach mass adoption and a lot of people to use it, it's needs to be kind of transparent. They don't necessarily need to know that they are using blockchain. We just
Exactly.
need to create the right products for them to use, but they don't necessarily know that it's powered by blockchain. I think
True.
it's and do you have other, because like, so it's on the, let's say, financial part of the economy. Do you have other ideas of, if not the apps that you would like to create, but perhaps other ideas you would have, or fields where the apps might be useful in Africa, especially, or in Nigeria?
I tried to explore one recently around the metadata on the Cardano blockchain, where you could actually do a private public key encryption or authorization for a school or for a university or even for different types of organization. So for example, I would want to say I graduated from a certain university. How can someone else verify that this is true? Usually what they will do is they will send like a letter or an email from the verifying organization to the school to verify that this particular student claimed that they graduated from this. I would say this can be solved by creating like a public identity, and for every student that is being that has graduated from a particular school, will actually create a like a metadata on the chain for this set of graduated students, and put this data there where this is publicly verifiable, where all they need to do at that point is to pay the price of that either for that transaction to, to submit at that point, where this can be referred back to. And all you need to do is to use the public key of the university to decrypt that metadata. As long as it gives you the valid value, then you will be sure that this guy actually graduated from this. But like I said, there are quite a lot of other ideas, but the fact that we don't have the infrastructures yet, we're not really ready, so we can't really explore some of the things that we have in mind.
Yeah, I think it's one of the problem is like, yeah, having ideas is good, but we also need the resources to develop them.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's interesting. So like, you are really focused on things related to identity, right? It's one of the things that is interesting for you, and I think that we all are waiting for what Hetala Prism is going to look like exactly, and what they're going to develop, because I think there is a lot of things that we can plug on this solution, or create things based on those principles. So I think that we all are really in a hurry to hear from that.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Um,
I'm actually waiting for the news that will come out of Ethiopia, or is it Kenya? I'm not even sure where the news is coming out from. So we want to see how that plays out.